Well, sometimes organizations try to create special events to create it. They'll use all kinds of devices so that you'll think if you're a part of that organization that you get the mysterium tremendum, the idea of the holy. And I remember, for example, a grandson, Chris, who was doing karate and doing it right well, and he invited us to a special program one evening, and so we came. We didn't quite know what we were coming for, but we were to find out. And all of a sudden, here comes all the karate group in this particular class, and they did something weird when they got to the mat. That's kind of holy space. Do you know what I mean? And in fact, we can't step on the mat. Not welcome to step on the mat. They came barefooted, and they would come to the mat. You know what they would do? They'd do this. This sounds to me, it looks to me like high church. It's like a genuine, like this. And then they would step onto the mat, turn around backwards, and you know what they did? They did the same thing. Wow. And then they all got on, all of them did the same thing, and then they all sat down. Everybody sat down, but Chris, he got up and stood this way, and the guru was over here looking this way. We're right here looking at the guru, looking at. All of a sudden, Chris got the signal. And he took off, and I tell you, his 4 legs and his 8 arms went into motion. He did things with that body nobody can do. I mean, it was incredible, all the twists and turns. I could. Is this my grandson? And then finally, it was long. Finally, he came back at attention. And the guru and his assistant took off and left the room. Why are they leaving? Well, you probably know why they're leaving. They're trying to figure out, did he do it well enough to get the darker color belt? You know what I mean? Well, they came back then in a few minutes, and because I was the sideway, the guru was side, I could see there was a new belt back there. Oh yeah, and then the assistant took off the old one. He's still at attention. And then the guru put the new belt and cinched it so tight. I thought the eyes were going to bug out. And with that, then all the members of the class, some 20 or so, they all stood. And they began to recite something. There's only one word to use for it. It's called creed. That's what they did, a creed. I was so impressed, I went back the next day and wrote down what it was that they said. Now, get the holy, the secular holiness. You know what? This is big time. They didn't have a screen to look at. They didn't have any notes on them. They memorized it by this time, and here's what they said. With honor, we will apply ourselves to the study of karate, placing foremost improvement of both mind and body to develop a better understanding of our fellow man and striving. Now, listen to this. For an ultimate serenity, that's big stuff. An ultimate serenity that can only come through a complete understanding of ourselves. We approach life's problems with the patience karate has given us. Never will we unjustly dishonor our fellow students, our teachers, the organization by misusing the secrets we are learning. And to this we, the students, do solemnly swear. Quite a win with that. And with that, they all came to the mat, and you know what they did, of course. They honored it. It was something holy to it as they saw it and left. Wow. Well, and then I started thinking about Diane, our daughter. Wonderful Girl Scout. I mean, she just had so many medals and awards, you couldn't believe it. And that was at Calvary Lutheran Church. And they also had special events to try to get people close to the mystery, you know. And so they all of a sudden, without any foreign knowledge, all the lights would be taken off. Only one little candle lit in the center of in a room. And all of a sudden somebody would say a line, somebody would add a candle. Another line, another candle, another line, another candle. But by the time the whole room was sort of ablaze with light, and Diane's face was a glow. Because she's a good girl. And she'd stand tall and receive the elevated rank or the badge or whatever. And you know, well, she worked hard for it. Well, parents had worked hard too, as it turns out. At any rate, and so they were trying to produce something that would create the sense of the mystery. And but you know, there's such a difference between Chris the grandson, and Diane, the daughter, and Simon Peter. I mean, Chris got the belt because he had it coming. He'd done a good job, a better than a good job. Diane earned it. She earned it because she'd done well, done all the homework to get there. She had it coming. Well, now just pray tell, what did Simon Peter bring to the exchange? All he brought were empty nets and trembling hands. That's the difference. Do you understand why he told Jesus to go away? Go away? No wonder Jesus said, do not be afraid. He was, indeed. And as they brought the boat, they didn't think they would even make it, but finally both shores come close to the water, from the water to the shore, and they do make it. As they come up, you could hear Jesus say to them, now, I'm going to lead you to really deep water. Real deep water. And from now on, instead of fishing for fish, you're going to be fishing for people. From now on. Yeah. That's what. And they turned and walked away. Maybe to Starbucks, I don't know. But they turned and walked away. But that's not where I want you to look. I want you to look right here. I want you to look down at the edge of the water at the beach. Do you see what I see? There are two boats. There are two boats. They got more fish than they can possibly hold. The fish are dropping off the sides. There's so many. It's the best catch that they'd ever had, or probably anybody had ever had. Enormous profit in store for them. I mean, it was, and people are beginning to gather. They know who owned these boats, but the owners of the boats aren't there. Why aren't the owners of the boats there? They've abandoned the boats. They've abandoned the profit. They've abandoned the fish that will soon rot and stink. Why and how? How could Simon Peter leave the profit, the best catch he'd ever caught, and his equipment? How could he leave all that and follow Jesus? There's only one reason he could do that. And that is, when Simon Peter said, go away, well, he didn't go away. He wouldn't go away no matter how unworthy Simon Peter thought he was. Jesus did not go away. Jesus didn't go away. Jesus doesn't go away. Jesus will not go away. No matter how undeserving anybody may think they are. You can say go away, but Jesus won't go away. Never go away. From now on, that's what he said. From now on.